breaking all the bars. Yo, the crowd's feeling it, energy's alive. Spotlight on the tails where the future arrives. Bass in the air, every story's a spark. Late night on bass, we're light in the dark. Bass night stories on the stage, we vibe. Talk show magic where the chain comes alive. Tokens in the flow, let the legends provide. Late night on bass, we're taking it worldwide.
Welcome, everybody. It's another edition of Late Night on Base. I'm your host, Bill the Bull, where we talk about crypto, we talk about AI, we talk about tech, we talk about it all and how it's going to impact you and your life and your loved ones, because that is the world we're heading to. Today on the show, we have Dennis, the founder of Paramo. Dennis is very interesting to me because he's building a real world business to help the normal people, quote unquote, normies, get set up with their systems in place. And so I thought it would be great to have him talk about what he's doing, but also on a deeper dive, instead of me just talking about myself daily about random stuff, why don't we talk about other people who share the same sentiments about AI, where it's heading, and what it means for you. So without further ado, Dennis, how are we doing today?
Hey, Bill, thanks for having me on. Awesome. I'm doing great here. My name is Dennis for everyone listening. I'm the founder of Paramo, already got introed. Essentially, the goal here of Paramo is to implement OpenClaw or agentic technology into a lot of the businesses that we serve. So, as of the last, OpenClaw came out November-ish, kind of went viral over the last 3 months, went from 0 to over 200,000 GitHub stars. Became this huge thing in the enterprise space, but I think there's a lot of room for commercial and SMB businesses that ultimately are going to start implementing and leveraging agentic technologies. And you're starting to see a lot of these first movers, is what I like to call them, these tech companies starting to talk about it and make decisions around their staff, for example. So really excited to be on again, and yeah, happy to be here.
Happy to have you. All right, so why don't we start with the basic level intro as to OpenClaw. So OpenClaw has kind of enabled a lot of the abilities for entrepreneurs like yourself to create the businesses, but it's also given plenty of other opportunities to others, developers, simplify it. And that's OpenClaw is basically the system that's going to allow businesses and humans to simplify their lives. So why don't we just start with that? What is OpenClaw?
So OpenClaw is this open source framework that essentially allows your AI to now have hands, so to speak. I like to break it down that way. We have a podcast ourselves, and I was interviewing this lady called Vicky, who super intelligent builder. And the way she described it, which I thought was awesome, was when when ChatGPT came out, it was like, okay, cool. I can talk to my LLM. I can do things with it. I can input into PDF. I can read it, maybe edit it. Okay, great. Then came Claude and Claude Code, Claude Cowork. Now I can connect apps to it. Claude Code allows me to connect my files to my computer. Okay, great. But I'm still using the Claude interface. OpenClaw comes out and says, okay, great. You can now have essentially what Claude Cowork and Claude Code has, but now on your own device, and you can own that data. So now bringing AI to you in your own ecosystem. So, for example, if you're a business and you're using Slack for your daily comms, you can now have an AI agent that can maybe help do some research for your business, automate some marketing functions, maybe help push code, review code, et cetera, right within your Slack organization. So you don't have to leverage any other new apps. Or maybe you're in the AI space and you've heard about, like, oh, well, there's a legal AI agent, but then there's also like a marketing AI agent. Well, eventually, it's always cheaper for a business to have things internally, just like most businesses that are in tech or leverage software. You have to have, your own in-house development team. On what I'm noticing on the business side of things is most, at least startups, their whole development team is focused on product time, or on building the product. Very few effort, or not much effort, can be allocated towards building out agents to help build the product, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and I mean, listen, I think ChatGPT started it off. People know ChatGPT, it's commonplace now. Wasn't that way in 2023. And now OpenClaw goes one step further, where it actually lets you do things, which is hands-on. The possibilities are endless there. And I think right now, you said as well, I think it came out a couple months ago, this is in my opinion, this is a ChatGPT moment in 2023 where no one's really understanding what's going on, except for people on X. They clearly do, and people in Twitter. But I think it's going to be pretty commonplace I would say the next 12 months. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a similarity between, or I saw a post that said something along the lines of like OpenClaw is like Salesforce,
Uh-huh.
early day Salesforce, where a lot of people back when Salesforce was very new, they didn't really like know the necessarily the use case around having this super powerful CRM that would integrate with their systems and make
Sure.
it the hub of all where all your sales data lives. OpenClaw, I think, is very similar, where a lot of companies in the future are going to be able to have their own in-house agents doing things that otherwise would have taken them time via certain skills that are developed.
Can you hear me real quick?
Yep, kind of breaking out a little bit.
All right, hold on a second. Let's push.
All good, all good. You're kind of freezing a little bit too.
No. It will be good. My team will edit it. All right. So, back what we were saying. We got cut off briefly. Why don't you finish off your thought on the open
Yeah,
cloud?
so totally. No, I totally think that a lot of businesses, mom and pop shops, are going to be able to leverage agents internally. And if you're a business owner listening to this, think about workflows or things that you do in your business that do require consistency every day or every week. You're doing things like sending out invoices. Okay, I have my invoicing platform, I have my email. Maybe I have to pull data from a different platform to send it to my invoicing platform, then to send my email. That might take 10 hours a week, 10 hours a month, maybe more, depending on the volume of invoices. That is a very repetitive task that with OpenClaw, you can take you can take the invoicing data, create an invoice either from using the systems that you already have, the apps that you already have, or internally, because you can also create design PDFs, very well designed PDFs with OpenClaw because you're leveraging your LLM, and then send an email out through your open cloud because it has access to an email that you gave it. So now that's saving, a business 10 to 20 hours a month, which now, okay, what else can we do with that time? Or what else can a business owner think about doing outside of just manually or automating their invoicing function?
So yeah, I mean, there's just so many things where the OpenClaw agent can now, take a lot of responsibilities away from the business owner to free up time, which makes them more productive, especially the tedious things, which is a good thing, obviously. But it also is imperative, in my opinion, that people really need to understand what's going on, because if you don't use this tech, your competitors will. And if your competitors do it, they get a leg up. They get an advantage because naturally they've leveraged the opportunity. So Dennis, talk to me. All right. So say I'm Sally. I am let's just say Sally owns a business. I've come across this podcast. They want free time to do admin stuff. They hate it. And they're like, Dennis, this sounds great. Is there an app? What do I do to download? How do we get OpenClaw, this agent that lives terminally in their system?
So there's a few different ways. The first thing I would want to ask Sally in this example would be, okay, well, where are you living in terms of your business? Are you using Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack, Discord? Because the way we use it internally, we have a Slack channel. We're a team of three operating like a team of 300 is what we like to say. And then after that, I would talk to Sally and say, hey, okay, let's just say we use Slack. Now we're going to have an agent essentially get connected to your Slack where you can communicate with it, riff with it, talk to it, just like you would a Claude or a Chat GPT. Okay, great. Then it's about teaching the agent the workflows that you want it to understand. So that's where we come into like building skills. So think about the skills that you have as a business owner. Say you're in logistics. There are certain things that only you know because you're a subject matter expert, but you also understand that these things do take time to do. If
Mhm.
you can break down a workflow from A to Z because you're an expert in it, then you can teach an agent to do the same thing. And that's where the relationship that I have with my clients comes from, where it's like, okay, let's really fully understand the problem that you have, the automation that you're trying to create, and let's teach this agent exactly how to do it via these things called markdown files, which you're probably seeing a lot. If you're on X, you're seeing these agents being built essentially from the things like a soul MD file, which is its personality, who it is, its voice MD, how it communicates with you, and you train it on all these things. A user MD file. So Sally would then come to me and say, oh, well, Dennis, I want to understand that I'm only talking, or I work from 9 to 5. Okay, these are my working hours. Okay, well, then this agent will know that this, that Sally, my orchestrator, works from these hours and she's expecting these results at, within this time frame. And we can, and it goes a lot deeper into that based off of specific use cases.
Nah, I know. And then I think so does Sally need what kind of hardware does Sally need? Like for instance, me, I have an agent. His name
Yep.
is Teddy. I'm
Nice.
creating the first uh non-zero media company, non-zero human media company. That's my goal. Kind of like following the Felix playbook, but in the
Hmm.
media and podcast live streams. And his goal is to become, famous. My guy Teddy lives on my Mac Mini. I have a dedicated Mac Mini, and literally that computer or that device is strictly for him to explore, do whatever. I don't even touch anything else. But there's other options, right, Dennis? So tell me about what would you recommend Sally to do? I know there's cloud or there's hosting on the cloud. I know there's Mac Minis. Maybe there's web browsers. What do you prefer to do when you install these things for the clients?
Yeah, so I always like to, the first thing I like to ask is where's the level of investment that you're trying to make? If you want to host your data locally, similarly to like how organizations would host their data locally before cloud was a thing, um, go ahead, make the investment into a Mac Mini. That is a great option. You now have full control over it, and then you can also increase the storage necessary based off of the use of your agent. Now, if you're just trying to get your feet wet and you want to play around and see what's out there, I think a very quick, speedy way to go about it would be creating an account with a virtual private server, setting it up that way. We used to do setups for people, and then we started building custom implementations. But to get started, Sally, I think, should just go for a virtual private server. There are plenty of like hosting providers like hosting.com, DigitalOcean, Hostinger that offer that kind of service as well.
And so when you use a virtual private server, you're basically having the ability to now talk to your agent 24/7, right? Through maybe Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever their mode of communication is, correct?
Cor- Correct. Yeah, and the most important part is like, and for, I'm staring at a old M1 MacBook Pro that I have that where my agent Jake Sully lives. Right. If you have an old device, you can also use that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that I like I similar to what you're doing. I think it's just the best option. Leverage an old device, but yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
No, no, no. Just saying that when you're using a VPS, once it's set up, one of the cool things about having your agent, whether it's a VPS, whether it's the dedicated Mac Mini or whatever, you're able to talk to your agent 24/7 because it's on as long as it's powered on. If it's on the cloud or if it's on a virtual private server, you never have to worry about it. If you're Mac Mini, you just make sure it's plugged in. And I think that's one of the cool things about these agents. They never sleep. They never sleep unless if you program it in their file to tell them not to wake. So Dennis, tell me, okay, so you saw this opportunity. I want to talk about Paramo, and I want to talk about kind of like what you do and how you offer services because it's important because most people do not know what's going on. The normies do not know what's going on still, even though you have literally the heads of Anthropic dropping out, telling people we're cooked. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but it's basically coming for every job. But still, most people don't know. So tell me, how did your company come apart? Did you see an opportunity and you're like, we need to do this? Do you have a background in programming, dev stuff? Like, talk to me. How did Paramo get into existence?
Yeah, so I've always been tech curious. I've been my tech career, I would call it, started on YouTube in 2020 when I realized what Bitcoin was, and that kind of led me down the rabbit hole. Traditionally, though, I'm go to market is my background. Sales marketing is my thing. But however, we do have a team of three where our CTO specifically has about 20 years of Silicon Valley experience. Has he himself has deployed over about 100 agents, sub agents, et cetera, within his businesses and internally within Paramo as well. So when it comes down to like who we are and why we started this, honestly, when I saw OpenClaw for the first time, it it was like it felt like I was staring at like honestly, it felt like I was staring at Bitcoin in 2015 all over again. Although I was a lot younger then, so I couldn't really seize the opportunity. And now that you can actually do things with your agents, and it's not like some scam or some extra like some fluff. I can build websites with my agent. I can do programmatic SEO with my agent. I can do local SEO with my agent. I can build marketing funnels with my agent. I can run my ads from my Slack channel with my agent. And that's just all on like where my brain goes, sales and marketing. I can do before and after every sales call, I can quickly know exactly who I'm speaking to directly from my Slack channel. After my sales call, I can autonomously create a work of scope and then create a custom demo as to how that scope would look based off of the conversation that me and a future client just had, and then send that out immediately. Whereas otherwise, that might have taken me weeks or days to do. So in terms of like how quickly my feedback loop goes, I feel like I can move much faster, and the only thing that's really stopping me is myself. Um, so it just seemed like a really good opportunity, and luckily I was able to had a really good network, was able to put a team together of guys who were able to help me meet the demand that I was creating, and it's been a sweet ride so far.
So are you focused more on the institutional clients, the businesses, or the individuals, or do you still do both? Because I know you said something about you used to do, setups for people like on the cloud. Now you don't. So where's your focus lie now?
Yeah, so predominantly like we still will do the occasional setup depending on if it it makes sense for us internally. However, we do more so lean on like, okay, if you're a commercial business, you're a business owner, you have 5 businesses that you're running, three, but you're basically doing a lot. Your time is spread so thin. You need to drive more impact yesterday, and you're hearing about these agents, but you don't know how to implement them necessarily. That's where we come in.
Interesting, interesting. And so, what has been the feedback for the people that you have served? What the businesses that you have served? What has been their, I guess, general consensus when everything's up and running?
Yeah, I mean, so general consensus has been, hey, look, this I don't feel like I'm necessarily saving time, but I can do more with it. Because now it's like I can while I tell my agent to do research about a client, I can then also start fulfilling what the client wants with that same agent, or for a different client with that same agent. Then if I want to say I'm starting a new business, or I need to build a website, instead of going out and going to Fiverr or Upwork or wherever your local website guy or girl, you can now do it internally, and you can all do that at the same time, and then it's almost like you're playing ping pong with your Slack notifications, more or less.
Interesting, interesting. So, okay, business is going well. You saw an opportunity. You're an entrepreneur. I assume demand's going to get better. Now, let's talk about the people, because the people on my show, they obviously they're not tech people. They're learning that
Right.
this is something that's out there. They need to know what's going on. They come to me for advice, guidance, topics of the day. So what would be your, I guess, not pitch to them, but your thesis as to why everyone should care about what's going on with OpenClaw? Why is it important, do you think, Dennis, people learn about this? And 1 year from now, do you believe there will be substantial job loss in the market? If so, why?
Okay. So here are two news things that come to mind. Jack Dorsey, ex-founder of Twitter, recently, with his new company, where I don't remember where it was, laid off about 4,000 people. I think it was like over half of his staff because of new technologies. That to me, the new technologies to me is without a doubt leveraging AI agents in some capacity. Second thing, you recently saw Meta, Mark Zuckerberg's company. They acquired Moltbook for about 350 million. That was, I think, this week. Where Moltbook, for people that don't understand what that is Moltbook is a social media platform for OpenClaw agents that where they communicate amongst themselves. So I remember when Moltbook first came out, there was 50 agents deployed on it. I was looking at this like, oh my gosh, this is social media for agents. A week later, there was like over 100,000 agents talking to themselves, amongst themselves, networking, just like early days Reddit. And that's exactly how it felt. So those two signals to me say, okay, this is legitimate, right? There's legitimate money from a founder who built X, Twitter, a lot, the platform that a lot of us get our crypto knowledge from. B, we have Mark Zuckerberg purchasing a social media platform for agents. Okay, so to me that says there's value here in the enterprise workspace. B, social media is essentially how the internet blew up, and now these agents have a right to that. Now, let's also tackle the, okay, well, how does this, and why should I be invested if I'm looking, if I'm like, I'm listening to your show. I'm a crypto native. Okay, well, Multibook is a social media platform for agents. From what I've seen, there's been a couple agentic coins and or platforms that have come up over the last, like, let's call it 4 to 6 weeks, that seem to be generating revenue and generating attention on X with and around their coin. So to me, it feels like a very early place to be. And last thing, you also have CZ from Binance saying that he's extremely bullish on agents leveraging crypto, because naturally agents don't really have a place where they can spend their money or exchange value amongst themselves. But now with crypto rails, they do. And if you think about the importance of crypto, or if you think about the growth of the internet over the last, call it 30 years, the internet started with, okay, we're exchanging info, right, via social media. Now with crypto starting in 2009, thanks to Satoshi Nakamoto, you have, okay, now we can exchange value. Assuming the cycle plays very similarly, okay, I can see it playing similarly in a shorter time frame, because humans are slow, agents are super fast. So we have their social media platform, it's checked, and Mark Zuckerberg just solidified that. The next thing is, okay, how are they going to exchange value at scale? And you're seeing players like Base being really, really invested into that. And then I also just saw Ramp, which they're like an enterprise level, like card APAR platform. Their Ramp Labs, they just announced a day or two ago that they're allowing agents to create their own debit cards. So now you're seeing like Web 2/Web 3 really doubling down on the investment on creating infrastructure for agents to not only exchange information, but then also spend money and exchange value.
Yeah, I mean, I
That
think
was a lot.
that was a lot, but I think from the crypto side, yeah, I think agentic agents is the new meta. I think honestly, this next cycle, I think we're in a bear market. I think it's going to be a couple more months of pain, but whenever it's said and done, I think the sector that's going to run hard is the AI meta. But for non-crypto natives who don't care at all about crypto, I think it's important to stress that, yeah, Jack Dorsey laid off a ton of people from the block, or I believe that was a block. I reported that about a week and a half ago. And you have people just saying it's going to come out. The reason is because now, like, if you're a software engineer or something, you're cooked. I'm sorry. You are absolutely cooked, because you don't need to write a line of code ever again, because they do the task for you. Right. And so it's gone from ChatGPT, which is just a text box, into something that's real and concrete that actually do things. So I always think, not to be doomsday, but I always say to people, okay, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, but the ones that aren't, you still need a human operator. You still need a human operator to talk to these agents, to kind of be the conduit, because these agents will only do what you tell them to do. Skills file, all those things. You need a human to kind of relay the information. That's where you're going to dominate or do well and have a job. If you understand this is what's going on, let me learn what it means to program these agents, what's available, because if you don't do it, someone else will, and someone will be much more productive. Right? Would you agree, Dennis?
100%. I mean, one thing that came to mind when you were saying that is, if we look at what Claude Code, or the company behind them, Anthropic, is doing, they're really focused on the enterprise game, where they're creating a lot of use case and selling their services to enterprises, large companies. The lag effect that will have, in my opinion, over the next 2 years for small business owners is going to be so great. And there's a lot of free resources to also learn. Like, I know Anthropic, they have a free learning course that I think is like about 15 hours of how to think about agents, AI literacy, etc. That I think everyone should be just learning, because you're not going to lose by leveraging this technology that allows you to go faster. A lot of these corporations value results and time efficiency. So if you can learn how to be faster in your organization because you're leveraging this technology, you're just going to win so much faster. And the earlier you adopt it, the better off you'll be.
Yeah, and you become valuable to these companies. Companies want to save costs. They want to be more productive, get more workflow, but they need people to be the human operators to get it done. Because otherwise, if there's no humans, there's no agents, because agents are just
Yep.
going to be, it's a long time before that. So, Dennis, before we wrap things up, let's talk a little crypto.
Yeah.
what are some of the plays on your radar that you personally like?
Ooh, honestly, this might be a hot take. My favorite so far has been Claunch. I
Why?
think honestly, I think the Launchpad game over the last year has proven to like grow really, really quickly. And they're generating revenue as well, and I like that. So if you if you have a good leader behind that, in my opinion, you have now economies of scale in your favor and network effect internally, allowing agents to also build on your platform. So I think they're both viral because they have a large community and they are selling a product that agents can use.
Did they ever hire that CEO for $1 million?
No, no, I was hoping it was going to be you.
I was hoping it too, man. I definitely wanted it, but I feel like a part of me thinks it was all cap, man. I think it was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, did they just do it for a marketing stunt?
I saw another company called Revenue Cat looking they did something similar where they were looking to hire an agent to do some of their go to market. We actually applied with our in-house agent, so hope fingers crossed we get it.
Uh-huh.
But but yeah, it could have been. I mean, it did really well. It was super hot for a while.
I know that was a fun little run in January, but I think, like with anything, I think that's going to be the topic of the day, just because, and I do think real world revenue is important. I think like the ones that are generating real world, like Felix, for instance. Felix is kind of what I'm trying to follow for my guy
Mhm.
Teddy, building in media. But Felix generated like, I don't know, I think he's made 500K or something about that, and then he's just like fully autonomous. Obviously, Nate's the operator, and that's what we go to what we're saying. Like, you still need to have a human involved, give them instructions, but then you just let them do their thing, and then they can come, they can report back to you the results. So for those listening in, you need to know what's going on with these agents. Make your life more productive. Make yourself more valuable. This is a skill. Learning these agents, how to operate, how to talk to them, getting them to do what you want is a skill. Skills are hard to replace. Be that person that has this skill to generate these agents, to know what's going on. If you're a corporate company or something, you don't know what's starting, Dennis, hit up Dennis. Dennis, for those that might want to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Yeah, I mean, you could go to www.paramo.sh or you can follow me on Twitter. You should be able to find me by searching up at TIPBT Dennis. I need to make that username a little bit easier, but for now, those are the two spots.
Awesome. Well, Dennis, I appreciate you, man. I guess let me just give you one last word. The floor is yours. Any last words you have for those tuning in?
Yeah, I think this is a really big opportunity for a lot of people. Make sure to learn, be patient, and just keep your head on a swivel. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for a lot of like I said it already, but there's going to be like I feel overwhelmed as someone running a business in this space. I feel overwhelmed with the amount of opportunity that is out there for me to take advantage of. Meaning that there's room for anybody from any kind of background doing anything with the agentic space. Right now is the time that you have to just sit down, learn this stuff, and you'll thank yourself in a year or two,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
even
time.
less.
Absolutely, it's time to lock in before the world knows what's going on. Before opportunity lies to those that take advantage now. Not when it's mainstream commonplace. By then, it's too late. So I agree with
100%.
you. I agree with you. And those and guys, if you're watching, please. This will also be on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, head over to YouTube. YouTube, you'll have the video upload, and you'll have Dennis's information in the description. You can contact him, and you'll have mine if you haven't done so already. Like and subscribe, free. Helps me produce more bigger content on the daily. This has been your boy Bill the Bull talking about AI, crypto, and tech, and what it means for you. Thanks, everybody.